Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Boisterous coming to you with some Grandmaster League Gosu out of the map Cloud Kingdom LE. Spying down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have Sad as the red Protoss, and up here in the top right-hand corner, we have DnXZarK as the blue Zerg. Now, Sad is an alt account, or at least I'm fairly sure it's an alt account of HuK's. So we might be watching HuK play right now. I honestly don't know, because it's not actually EG HuK. But this was from the Grandmaster League, and, you know, a lot of those players, unless it's a barcode player, you can typically tell who it is. I mean, Sad is, again, one of those good alt accounts from HuK, and he's playing Protoss, so he's playing the right race. And, you know, it's Grandmaster action. I would not be surprised to see HuK playing an account called Sad. I don't know why, it wouldn't surprise me much. Not that HuK seems like a sad guy, it's just... that seems like a name he would pick, because, I don't know. So sad. Aww. Aww. So anyway, it is going to be PvZ on this map, Daybreak LE, and I am just super excited for Heart of the Swarm to come out. So if I rant a little bit about Heart of the Swarm today, that's why, because I'm so super pumped, because really, there hasn't been a whole ton of shakeups in the multiplayer map division. And with Heart of the Swarm coming out, it's gonna be very, very interesting. You know, there were some really cool new stuff about this map like 10 months ago, but now I feel completely like I can't talk about this map anymore. I can't talk about most of the maps anymore, just because they're so old and everybody understands them. Like, I bet you that 80% of the StarCraft 2 demographic could draw like Daybreak or even Tall Dream Altar, which is an older map, or Shattered Temple. There are so many maps out there, they're just so iconic to StarCraft 2 right now, that basically if you put somebody down and you were like, here's a pencil, draw this map. Like, they could probably draw Metropolis, even though Metropolis isn't even really a ladder map. I mean, it's a map that's well-known, it's a map that's well-versed to a lot of people. We do have the pylon going down for Sad. Now, of course, DnXZarK went for a reasonable build against Protoss players. He did build his spawning pool first. He was anticipating the pylon to go down, and pylons are just really, really super-duper annoying. And it looks like Sad actually canceled that, but Zark is now being forced to drop his third base down. He saw the pylon get canceled, but he didn't want to have to follow the probe, so he just got the probe to the point where it wouldn't actually be able to stop his drone, and they pulled his drone back and made the hatchery, which was a good strategy. I mean, that's what you want to do in a situation like that, because, I mean, running back to your natural, it's probably going to get blocked by the probe again, and then you're just kind of screwed. It looks like the Overlord is going to be flying over Sad's base. It is a Forge Fast Expand out of Sad, and there is the first Photon Cannon going up. This Overlord will, of course, be able to sneak on in and be able to see a lot of the tech going down. We have a lot of Chrono Boost building up from Sad right now. I would be amazed if we saw it hit 100, because that's not something that pros do. Sad, do not let me down now. Do not let that hit 100. You better Chrono Boost. You better not make me look silly. I'm going to keep this Nexus targeted just so that I can see. Oh, I didn't hit 100. Alright, well, you know, I guess you can't win everything. And there is the Chrono Boost just a couple of seconds late after the hitting of 100. He's actually Chrono Boosting on 2 different structures. He's Chrono Boosting on both Nexuses. So he's really going for a high amount of probes in this game, which is good in a PvZ, especially if you go for such a macro build as this Forge Fast Expand. And if your opponent, you know, if your opponent gets that fast third hatchery, you can almost guarantee that they're going for the natural too, because honestly, if you go for the fast third, but not the natural right after that, you're kind of just a little bit on the side of silly. And not only just a little bit, you're actually quite a bit on the side of silly. I would call you pretty fucking silly. I mean, I don't know why you would do that without a lot of reasons. Like, I really, really don't. That would be very, very, very wonky. Alright, so anyway, both of our players are kind of just sinking into a more standard gameplay. Sad has not yet gone for his third base, but that's not too much of a surprise. I'm interested to see what strategy he goes for, because I've seen a lot of players... Oh my god, a Stargate. Oh, Phoenix play. We're going to see Phoenix play. I'm sure nobody's quite as excited as I am, but that's perfectly fine. I am used to that at this point. Oh man, after being like the only nerd in my group of friends that watches StarCraft multiplayer, Stargate play in a PvZ. I'm so excited. It's not even Heart of the Swarm. It's actually just Wings of Liberty. Like, there's no OP Sky Toss yet. I mean, let's be honest. That's coming in Heart of the Swarm. You're gonna see Sky Toss strategies like off the rails. They're gonna be coming out of everywhere. Everyone's going to be doing Sky Toss. And I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be a big change from the other strategies that we've seen so far. It looks like the Roachborn is now coming up for DnXZarK. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's actually going for. It looks like we do have 2 evolution chambers coming down right now. So we are going to see some upgrades. I wouldn't be surprised to see those ranged upgrades coming in and going for a very, very roach-heavy army, because that's what a lot of players have been doing in the PvZ strategy right now. Just because, I mean, there's so many wonky things that a Protoss player can do. And of course, the Phoenix has been revealed, which is a little bit interesting. That's almost... I wouldn't say sloppy, because I guess, you know, you're on shark mode with it and you're just cleaning up overlords. But I don't know. I wouldn't reveal my units like that, especially if you're going for something as wonky as Phoenix play, because Phoenix play is something that is very effective if you just sneak up on somebody with it. And that was a beautifully placed overlord, but HuK is kind of like seeking them out. He's looking for them, and now you have, you know, the 6 spore crawlers on the way, and there's not going to be a whole ton of damage to the mineral lines that can be done with these units. It looks like he is going up to. Is this a 7-gate play? Yeah, this is a 7-gate with Warp Prism play. This is starting to look like an all-in. That's a lot of gateways and a Stargate off of one base, along with upgrades. Now, of course, he is going to be expanding before all of this extra production hits, so it's not quite an all-in, but it's like riding on the blade's edge. I mean, 7 gateways is a lot. Usually you see like 6 gate, especially if you see something like Warp Prisms coming out, because Warp Prism is just a wonky strategy to go for. And it looks like he's going to be lifting it up, and oh my god, he's going for a sentry drop. Oh god, he's using the Protoss, the Phoenixes as kind of like a diversion that forces out so many of these spore crawlers, which are just almost a waste of larvae, because these Phoenixes, there's only 3 of them, and they are not playing too aggressively. And now we have the sentry drop coming in, and this could get very, very dangerous for our blue Zerg player. It looks like +1/+1 is just about to finish. It will probably finish in time. I don't think he'll be able to get a cancel on either of these. But here we do go. We have the warp in, and it's going up to 7 sentries in the main base. There is going to be a ton of force fields going down. And oh my god, 34 Zerglings on the way, but those 34 Zerglings, especially against a Micromaster like HuK, they're not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage, and there are some nice force fields going down, and it looks like DnXZarK is starting to get absolutely cleaned up. Ugh. The Spore Crawler is getting sniped a little bit. There are these Zerglings, but some beautiful force fields are going to stop them from being able to engage. And the Zealots are starting to come up now. Of course, these Zealots are +1/+1, and these Zealots are at +1, and these Zerglings are at +1/+1. So the Zealots do not actually just two-shot Zerglings right now. But with some beautiful force fields, we do see wonderful engagements going down. And these Zerglings are not going to be able to clean up this army. This is crazy. It looks like we have 12 roaches on the way, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to actually save anything, considering the amount of Zergling. There have not been a lot of workers killed this game. But I mean, these Phoenixes have just been absolutely going to town on Overlords at this point. I mean, Zark has been food capped for a while now, and with 7 warp gates coming up, and not being able to actually get enough food, I could see this game ending very, very soon, because you're gonna watch this Protoss army just not die, essentially. We do have the lift up on the sentries, which is a little bit interesting. Is he going to be pulling back? I would be surprised to see that, especially with the amount of resources he has. And no, he was just pulling it out to try to get the Roach army to be forced off so that he could get a full warp in. And oh god, that's a lot of Zealots right now. And there are just not enough Roaches to deal with this. He's trying to produce as many as possible, but there's just so much damage already done by this Protoss army. And if you look at the base of SAD, I mean, the worker count is just starting to get out of control. The Protoss has taken the lead in the worker count, and this was just a terrible, terrible amount of damage from this drop play. And I don't think Zark is going to be able to pull this back. Wow. I am fairly confident in saying that this Protoss player was HuK, because that was really awesomely played. I mean, the little tiny things with chrono boosts at the beginning were a little bit awkward, but I mean, other than that, this game has been like a textbook game for a very, very cool build order win. And that was That was pretty awesome. I love Warp Prism play because Warp Prism play just lets you be so aggressive with these gateway units, and you just saw it absolutely just rampage out. I think Zark made a couple of bad decisions there. I mean, when he went for the Zergling packs instead of going for Roaches, I cried a little bit because Roaches, I think if he had made, instead of making those 34 Zerglings, if he had made all Roaches, I think he could have won there. But with those Zerglings, they were forced into like this very awkward choke pointy standpoints, and it was bad. I mean, he got absolutely wrecked. Those Zerglings, they took out Zealots, but, you know, they needed to be taking out the big money sentries, and they just didn't do that. And then, you know, there were just Phoenixes everywhere cleaning up all of the Overlords because he couldn't pull all of his Overlords back to his Spore Crawlers fast enough. So anyway, guys, if you would like any other Boisterous action, you can head over to youtube.com/user/BoisterousSC2. Also, if you would like your games played, you can head on over to, or you can send them on into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. Be sure to submit all of your HOTS games because I'm very excited. I hope to get a couple of replays done on the day that HOTS releases. So as soon as you wake up in the morning and you start playing Heart of the Swarm, just start dropping me those games because I'm very, very excited to start doing my commentaries on Heart of the Swarm. It's going to be really, really awesome. So anyway, guys, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and this is Boisterous, signing out.